Hi, Shelley from the Quilted Forest here, and we wanted to show you the Fusible Grid product that we just love. We've been using it at the Quilted Forest for a long time. So what it is a great way to make a really scrappy quilt and very easy to use. A lot of fun. You can use up a lot of fabric scraps doing this. It comes in a few different sizes. There's a 2-inch size. So these squares start at 2 inch and they will finish at 1.5 inches once they're sewn up. This one is 2.5, starts at 2.5, finishes at 2. There's also a 1-inch grid, and you can use that as a 1-inch grid if you're feeling particularly like torturing yourself, or you can use it for 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, any even number. So the idea behind the Fusible Grid is you cut sections, and you can cut these sections any size that you want. 4x4, 5x5, whatever. You lay it glue side up on your ironing board. So the bumpy side is the glue side. And then you're going to put your squares on that, press them into place. So now instead of having to pick up all these squares individually and sew them together, all you have to do is fold over the row and sew all those seams at once with a 1/4 inch. You're going to do all your seams one direction first. So you'll do 4 seams that way because I have a 5x5 here. And the back will look like this. You're going to go in and clip the corners. Now, you want to make sure you clip these corners. If you don't, what you will end up with is a big bulky seam there. So once you clip the corners, you're going to clip it all the way through the seam on all those corners. You'll be able to alternate which way that goes. And then when you're done, you will press all the seams in one direction. And the nice thing about it is it's perfect corners every time. I did this one with a combination of cotton and denim. And that was the 2.5-inch squares, and that finishes at 2-inch. Now this is a sample of the 2-inch grid. So that's the 2-inch grid. I've got my pieces on there. Then same thing, you're gonna fold over the row, sew those 5 seams at once. You have all those sewn. You're gonna go in and clip these corners. And that's what allows you to flip the seams the other direction so that you don't get a lot of bulk. Because if you just sewed it like this, there'd be a big bulky spot there. And you'll have perfect corners every time. So I have also done blocks the same way. I had some leftover half square triangles and squares from another project. I just put them on the grid, sewed them into place, and then did the same technique. It's an easy way to make blocks out of spare pieces. So when you have leftover strips from all your projects, just cut them in either 2-inch squares or 2.5-inch squares, depending on the size of your strips. If you want to make like a color wash quilt, this is one of the first ones I did using this technique. I did 10x10 squares, and then I color washed them for a really cool effect. As you can see, I've had this one a while. I haven't finished it, but I will. Recently, we put together a little kit, and it's for this quilt right here. And the kit has the center panel, the inner border, which is the yellow, and the binding, which is the blue. And then it also has the grid in it and a little pattern to go with it. The kit is $15.99, and then all you do is add your scraps from home to get the borders finished. The quilt that's on the table used 4,104 squares that were 2x2, and I used 9 yards of the 2-inch grid, and I thought it turned out great. It's a queen size quilt, and I get compliments on it all the time. So if you have any questions or you want to purchase some of the grid, give us a call, 641-585-2438. Thank you.